Guten Tag, hello, and thank you very much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to learn more about AAA Northway's upcoming fall 2025 trip of a lifetime in partnership with AAA Member Choice Vacations to Central Europe, discovering Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria, featuring Oktoberfest September 20th to the 29th, 2025. Our travel advisor, virtual travel advisor, Colleen Torres for AAA Northway is going to be hosting this amazing journey come September 20th, 2025. And yes, she also serves a couple days a week at both the AAA Saratoga Springs and AAA Schenectady offices. Remember, any of our travel advisors throughout the AAA Northway Club are here for you to help make your travel dreams become a reality. So from the North Country with Jennifer up in Plattsburgh and Clinton County to, again, closer to the capital region, Warren County with our Queensbury offices, Saratoga Springs, Clifton Park, Schenectady, and of course, down in the southern tier with Tammy and Sean and Vestal, we're here for you. Reach out at 877-222-8283 or AAA.com/appointment for more. My name is Ryan Fair. I'm the Business Development Manager for all of the capital region and upstate New York for AAA Member Choice Vacations. Have been proud to make my way to nearly 24 different countries, 30 states around our beautiful land. And yes, this Oktoberfest experience here, 2025, is going to be unbeatable for sure. The company I work for, AAA Member Choice Vacations, was voted as the Guided Tour Partner of the Year for the 6th consecutive year in 2023. Not only how they handled themselves during the pandemic, during those unprecedented times, but also emerging from this here, the pre-tour as well as on-tour experience that you will have with us. And again, that was combined by all AAA clubs throughout the nation. So again, that speaks volumes right there. Being a AAA member, if you did not need to use towing or some of the other different services that AAA Northway has to offer, well, we're going to have an additional $50 off per person savings for you on this amazing journey. And yes, when it comes to guided travel, you're not going to have to worry about a thing. We're going to have some expert local guides sprinkled throughout. We'll have a tour manager who's with you the entire time, staying with you at the same hotels there in Europe, and really ticking off the boxes, both experience and cultural wise and culinary wise on this here. So again, making sure that you are having the most bang for buck. Yes, that being said, we only have one night stay, and that's going to be at the end in Munich on this, and only 2 other hotels that we're staying on this journey. So again, being able to unpack, use the drawers, stay a while here, having that inclusivity here where you're, again, not feeling nickeled and dimed and taking advantage of all those highlights of what the region has to offer, being immersed in the culinary side of things here as well. And having, again, a top-notch tour manager is going to, again, bring history to life with you with their knowledge and expertise. Our ground operator for AAA Member Choice Vacations is Colette, which is the longest-running tour operator in North America, been around for 106 years, and yes, even sponsors Wheel of Fortune a couple times a year. So good enough for Pat and Vanna, heck, probably good enough for you too. And during those unprecedented times when we could not take care of travel here, Colette took care of our travelers here out that were out of travel. What do I mean? Most companies gave coupons, vouchers, travel credits. They gave money back because it was just the right thing to do. So again, emerging from the pandemic here, we still have a industry-leading cancel for any reason waiver and insurance, which I'll mention to you in just a little bit. But without further ado, let's go. Let's get on this amazing journey here again, discovering Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria here on a tour featuring Munich's legendary Oktoberfest here, September 20th to the 29th, 2025. So first of all, the question I usually get is, what's the weather going to be like on average? Well, what it is here on September 20th in the Albany capital region here is roughly 53 and 69 on September 20. When we get to Bern, Switzerland, where our journey begins here for the first few nights, on average here, temperatures are going to be 49 and 64. Innsbruck, Austria, 49 and 63. Munich, 48 and 61. A couple degrees cooler as daytime highs, but again, this is perfect traveling weather. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. And what we'll be doing is a round trip group pickup from one designated area. That's usually, as I said, the AAA Half Moon office there in Clifton Park. We make our way down to New York. That's going to give us the best of both worlds to be able to get out and take advantage of multiple different airlines and again, giving the best scheduling there possible. Overnight flight as the crow flies is going to get us there to roughly about 8 hours as the crow flies, gets us into Zurich. And then from there, it's a 4-night stay. We'll be doing day trips throughout Lucerne, Hobkern, as well as into Liechtenstein en route to Innsbruck, Austria, where we have another 3-night stay. And we'll be doing some day trips throughout there as well. Our last night is going to be in Munich, and then from there, of course, to do Oktoberfest, and then from there to fly on out. Now, to the days left of 6 and 8, I should say, that arrow is representing what's called a choice on tour, where you can do one thing, your traveling companion can do the other. Great, go back, compare notes. You're not paying an extra dime for doing so. That said, I just want to point out, this is not just confined to the capital region. So if you have a family member that lives in a different part of the country, we can fly them out of the local airport. Just reach out to any of your AAA Northward advisors that you're going to use on this trip here. And again, we will adjust the rate accordingly there. All right. This is a classic style tour on this. Again, really taking in the enriching experiences, the iconic sites here. Having that preferential access to sites, again, meaning that we're going to skip the line, spend more time discovering instead of waiting. This is ideal for, nothing to sneeze about there. This is ideal here for sightseeing the world's iconic destinations. Again, over 100+ tours where we have this kind of classic lineup here. Again, all the highlights at a value-minded price. Average size here, about 35, 37 here. Maximum size on our motor coach, 44. On a 10-day trip, that's nice. You're gonna be able to mingle with other travelers here and having those, again, enriching and iconic experiences for sure. This is a tour activity level of 3, which is an active on-the-go traveler here. Again, they should be able to climb 3 or so flights of stairs here, be able to stand on their feet a couple hours at a time. We will be doing some walking tours. We're not saying you're going to have to walk 2.5 hours straight, but we do want to point out here again that this is going to be something where we're going to have to expect some longer days, balanced with some free time to recharge or just set out on our own adventure. We have some altitudes where, again, we'll be up to about 6,000, 7,000 feet at some times here throughout the Alps. And again, this level is not fit for travelers that require mobility assistance devices. So again, just wanting to set those proper parameters there. All right, here, let's get into the fun part, our travel and our tour here. Our tour is going to open here in Bern, which is the capital of Switzerland. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Basically, the UN said we need to take care of this for the patrimony of the culture, of humanity, or other different reasonings there. We're going to hear that word UNESCO a couple of times. Now, this is nestled right here in the Swiss countryside here. And legend says that the city got its name from the first animal that the founder saw when he was hunting, which was a bear. Bern, okay. This is an old cobbled town section here. This is Old Town here, so well preserved that the residents who lived here 500+ years ago would probably find it very similar today. Again, we'll discover the beautiful buildings, the cathedrals, the medieval clock tower here. And this evening, we're going to join our fellow travelers for a welcome dinner that features local cuisine, such as traditional cheese fondue. Our next day, we're going to explore delightful Bern on a panoramic sightseeing tour led by a local guide. We're going to see the Bundeshaus, which is the Swiss parliament, and the famous Bear Pit, which has been expanded since its original opening in the 1850s. We'll be viewing the Gothic cathedral that dominates the old town skylines here, and from the Rose Garden, we will admire the incomparable view of the city below. Now, the remainder of our day is going to be ours to explore independently. And with our free time, you might consider taking a ride in the red carriages of the Gurtenbahn, which is a funicular railway here, climbing Gurten Mountain to an altitude of about 2,600 feet for impressive views overlooking Bern, the surrounding town, as well as mountains. Our next day here, we will depart Bern and head to the small mountain village here outside of Interlaken, which is called Hobkern. Here we will view classic postcard imagery of Switzerland, enjoying a tour with a local workshop owner here, learning how the Alphorn was made. Again, if you've ever seen that Ricola commercial here with the guys with a sore throat blowing that instrument, that's an Alphorn that we're seeing right here. Now, maybe you'll entertain your musical side and give this instrument a try for yourself. And afterwards, we'll explore the world of yodeling through a professional demonstration. And perhaps you're a natural and never knew. Well, would you give it a try out? We'll see how it is when you're there. Anyways, we'll finish our afternoon with a fondue lunch at a local restaurant before we head back to Bern for an afternoon at leisure. Our next day here, we're going to set out for Lucerne. My apologies here. Set out for Lucerne, again known as the Swiss paradise here on the lake. Again, it began as a Benedictine monastery back in the 8th century, gaining importance from its location on trade routes. And we will enjoy a leisurely paced walking tour of the Altstadt, which is the Old Town, exploring hidden treasures here of the city. Now, Lucerne has more than 800 plus years of history. Here we'll be able to walk along the Chapel Bridge, built back in the 1330s. We'll see the famous 17th century paintings up and above on the roof, kind of frescoes there, depicting the history of Lucerne. And notice that adjacent water tower that served as both a prison, a water tower, as well as a treasury. Now, other sites include the Renaissance-style town hall, as well as the Baroque Jesuit church. And we'll also see the Lion Monument, which was carved from natural rock to commemorate the heroic Swiss Guard. Now, it is located above a pond, the east end of the side of the medieval town, and this dying lion actually represents the Swiss Guard soldiers who lost their lives while they were serving the King Louis XVI during the French Revolution. Now, that Swiss Guard is still soldiers that are used to defend the Pope and the Vatican to this day. Now, tonight we're going to dine at one of Bern's local great restaurants here. And our next day, we are going to make our way en route to Innsbruck. We'll make our way through Liechtenstein, which is the smallest German-speaking country in the world and the only country to lie entirely within the Alps. We'll continue on to Innsbruck, famous as a winter sports center here, as well as the site of the 1964 and 1976 Winter Olympics. Now, it's situated in a mountain valley. City dates back to the 12th century here. And as we wind through the narrow cobblestone lanes, we're going to understand why Innsbruck has it's been a center of European culture as well as politics during the 14th century. Now, upon arrival here in Innsbruck, we'll have a choice on tour where you can do one thing, your traveling companion can do the other. Great, go back, compare notes. You're not paying an extra dime for doing so. One is going to be actually selecting a walking tour, and these are both going to be walking tours here. One is with a local guide discovering the city's history with, seeing some of those popular attractions. On this historical cultural tour, we'll meander through the charming pedestrian streets and seeing landmarks such as Maria Theresienstraße, as well as the Hofburg, as well as the Golden Roof. This golden roof that we see right here on the left-hand side, made up of nearly 2,700 individual tiles, built in the 1490s to honor the marriage of the Emperor Maximilian I to his wife. Or that architectural tour here will embark on seeing some of the unique architectural structures, including the famous ski jump here. Now, again, this sits in a stadium accommodating about 25,000 or so fans. So you can do one thing, as I said, the other can do the other. No additional charge on it. Great little value add, and just a wonderful day ensure. We'll come back. We'll have your evening at leisure. Tour manager will give you options, ideas, where to go, what to see, and what to do. And our next day, we will make our way through the picturesque Austrian countryside to Salzburg. Now, Salzburg is the birthplace of Mozart. The name Salzburg means literally Salzburg is salt berg, which again means fortress. So salt fortress here. And it's home to, again, the Old Town, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and chock full of beautiful gardens, old world architecture, friendly locals that paint Salzburg's delightful canvas. We'll enjoy a leisurely paced walking tour here featuring the Mirabelle Gardens with its mythological statues. Several scenes from The Sound of Music were actually filmed here. And we will also see some of the other famous sites, such as the Geburtshaus, which this Geburtshaus here, or birth house of Mozart, is one of just many of the highlights of this beautiful city. Now, we're going to complete our afternoon with a delightful lunch at the 1,200-year-old St. Peter's restaurant, which is the oldest in Austria, actually still owned by the monks. Our next day, we'll discover Bavaria on a tour of the Linderhof Palace, which is the only palace actually of 3 that King Ludwig II lived to see completed. We'll walk the extraordinary halls, which were modeled after Versailles in Paris, with an expert guide and basking in the luxury of past royalty. Now, afterwards, we'll make our way to Étal Abbey, which is a Benedictine monastery founded in the 14th century. Here we will tour the Basilica, founded by a brewery tour, complete with tastings. So yes, not your traditional tour to the monastery. Later on, we are going to go back to Innsbruck here, where we are going to have for us here a musical performance here. It's a Tyrolean folklore show hosted by a locally well-known musical family here, experiencing, as I said, the rich musical tradition here of mountainous Austria. Now, the Tyrol region here, the clothes, you see the lederhosen here, the dirndls, as well as brightly embroidered fabrics here. Yodeling sometimes featured on this here. The instruments that they use, the alpine horns, the cowbells, the zithers, the harps, and others. And of course, dance-wise here, the most famous is the shoe slapping dance. Our next day, we will leave here and we'll embark towards Munich. This is our last hotel and our last part of the journey here. And again, that feature that we have on this amazing trip in September 2025. Oktoberfest here, traditional folk festival dating back to the 1800s here. It lasts actually for 3 weeks. It starts in the middle of September, ends in the first Sunday of October. And the beer tents that line the festival here each have a capacity, obviously, of thousands. We have a private tent that we're in. And today, our festival here draws people from all over the world, includes lively music, savory cuisine, authentic costumes, and music, amusement rides, and again, millions of liters of beer here as well. Now, fun fact, only beer brewed in Munich can be served at the festival, and it must meet the strict criteria of festival organizers here as well. So again, just to show you where we've been, where we're going, all that. And we're finishing up here in Munich for our last day on this here. And again, in our reserve tent, toasting to a fun-filled day of drinks, games, friendly locals, and much more. As a quick recap here, we're going to have so many amazing experiences here throughout Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria. Again, our 4-night stay in Bern with our panoramic city tour, getting to the Swiss paradise on the Lake of Lucerne, visiting Liechtenstein here, touring the Mirabell Gardens, and again, made famous by the sound of music there in Salzburg, enjoying a lunch at a 1,200-year-old restaurant, Tyrolean folklore shows, Innsbruck with our choices on tour, and much, 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 much more. Again, on this tour here, we have a hometown group pickup because we're going to make our way from one designated area, most likely the AAA Half Moon there in Clifton Park, down to our New York airport. And yes, on all of our air inclusive bookings, we have this hometown pickup available. Now, if you're watching this from another air gateway, we can fly you out of your air gateway, and within 50 miles of 90 of those air gateways, we'll pick you up at your house as an individual, as it's a one-off airport there. So you don't need to worry about a thing, really leaving the hassle of getting to the airport behind you. Personalizations, we talked about a couple of those other different things. Just talk to your travel advisor here at AAA Northway for more information right there. And our no worries travel protection. Literally, if you have to cancel for any reason to the day prior, full money back refund. Not a coupon, not a travel credit, not an IOU, not a voucher. While on tour, remember this, Medicare and Medicaid do not apply outside of the United States. Even more of a reason why you should get insurance, because you don't need insurance until you need insurance. Think about that with your car. You don't need car insurance until you need it. Medical assistance, evacuation, baggage loss, delay, theft. It really is the peace of mind that you cannot put a price tag on. Note, up until the 21st of March, 2025, if you have to cancel for any reason, you're going to get everything back, including the insurance. From the 22nd of March to the day prior in September, you get everything back minus the cost of the insurance. But then again, that's why you have the insurance. If you've traveled with AAA Member Choice Vacations or Ground Operator Colette within the last couple of years, so from basically September of 2023 onwards, or once you come home from this trip, you're going to have some additional savings here for you. So your travel advisor there at AAA Northway will give you more when you sign up. When you fill out your registration form, make sure a few things. Number one, that it matches exactly what's on your passport. So if your middle name is spelled out, make sure it's spelled out right there. Look to see when your passport is due to expire. If it's supposed to expire by the spring of 2026, you might want to get this stuff taken care of ahead of time, just so that there's no funny business or delay, again, at the airport or trying to get home, because they do look at that validity depending on the destination and gateway there. So you do have time to get this taken care of here in 2024, early 2025, but do not delay on this here as well. Or if you need a new passport, again, work with your advisor. We'll get that squared away for you. In 2025, up the pipeline here is going to be what is called the ETIAS, which is a visa that is going to be implemented here by the European Union. This has been delayed multiple times. That's why we have to kind of put that date to be determined on this here, because they haven't even made up their mind on this. We will advise once this does come into action. We've heard that this is going to be as as low as $10. So it will not break the bank in any way, shape, or form. But again, we will advise once things do come to fruition, if they do come to fruition. But you can find out more about this trip at our trip dedicated webpage, http://gateway.memberchoicevacations.com/link/1213377. 1213377. That QR code that you saw at the beginning of the broadcast, as well as the QR code here and at the end, are going to actually bring you to our trip dedicated webpage. Up there on the top left-hand side, you see that green arrow pointing to the sign up now button there. It's very turnkey, where here what you can do is fill out all the information right there. Then again, reach out to your travel advisor, or better yet, just set up that appointment. But again, you can do it right from the ease and convenience of your own home. The other option there, and I want to point out, is that yellow arrow. That is going to, again, give you the contact information for AAA Northway's group travel department there. And again, I'll have that for you at the end. Under the highlights, you're going to see the know before you go, some of those other different little informations there. So this is a really good little key and little, a reminder to help you out and get you excited about this amazing trip in the fall of 2025. Booking now early saves you money. Again, $100 per person savings up until the 21st of March on all of our air-inclusive bookings here. And that's going to be reflected what you see in the price right here. Your deposit is $698. The time of deposit is when that cancel for any reason insurance is due, which is $549, and it's going to make it $1247 respectively there. Deposits are due by the 21st of March, and again, fully refundable by the 21st of March, 2025. Final payment is not due until basically the first day of summer 2025, June 22nd. And again, what you see with this includes a lot. Includes a baker's dozen amount of meals here, your round trip transfer from the capital area down to New York, your round trip air from New York, your air taxes, your airport to hotel transfers in Europe, your hotels, your porterage. What's not included? Tips to the driver, guide, and local guide. We'll give you those suggested rates, as well as any meals that are on your own, and any retail therapy or shopping that you choose to partake in. Your rate there, $55.49 per person, double occupancy. With that $549 insurance, $16.98 respectively there. As a solo traveler, there are a limited amount of solo seats on all of our journeys here. It's $1,000 higher at $65.49. And again, with that insurance of $549, $70.98 respectively there. You know the voice in your head that's telling you to travel? Simply put, listen to it. 10 years from now, you'll be so glad that you did. What are you waiting for? The best time to travel is while you can. So again, reach out to any of our travel consultants throughout the AAA Northway Club here. Again, 877-AAA or 222-8283 or AAA.com/appointment. And yes, Colleen would love to have you travel with her on this amazing journey here. Again, Dankeschön. Thank you so much. 877-AAA-8283, travel@northway.aaa.com or gateway.memberchoicevacations.com/link/1213377. We'll see you there September 20th to the 29th, 2025 on Discover Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria, featuring Oktoberfest. Auf Wiedersehen. See you later.